There was a man that I recently treated who was in his mid 50s who had been suffering from anger and depression for about 10 years. As we cued in these feelings of this tightness in his chest that he was feeling, it brought him back to the death of his son. His son had been in an accident, and there was this intense anger there about this one person who was there, who left the scene of the accident, who he believes was directly responsible for this death. And for the last 10 years, he's had thoughts about how to revenge this man, and this bitterness has grown and grown and turned into depression, turned into sleepless nights, turned into just a dark cloud over every aspect of his life. This was also a Christian man. When I asked him if he had ever forgiven this person he held responsible, he said that he had tried, but he did not feel the capacity to forgive. He said that he had, in his own strength, not enough strength to forgive. When he said that, I said, of course you do not have the capacity to forgive. I wouldn't have the capacity to forgive. If someone I felt had ended my son's life, that would be impossible. But I don't believe that forgiveness comes from our capacity. I think it comes from us releasing our right for justice to God, extending the grace that God has given us to other people. He himself, in his own strength, didn't have the capacity to forgive, but God could give him that strength. And so I asked him, do you want to pray? Do you want to ask God for the strength to forgive? And he did. And we prayed together, and there was weeping and tears, and you could feel the power of God coming into his heart. And after we were done, I checked in with that tightness that he had felt in his chest. And he said that it was about 80% gone. My name is David Puder. I am a physician at Loma Linda. I work with the mentally ill, people who have depression, anxiety, panic episodes, trauma. In the course of the last 8 years or so, I've asked myself a question, and my spiritual mentors have asked me a question. How has God uniquely formed me? How has he made me to uniquely reflect his image in some way? And it's also a question I ask of the people, the patients I come into contact with. How has God uniquely forming them? How has he uniquely formed them? And for me, that looks like identifying areas needing redemption in people's life, to heal the brokenhearted, to set the captives free, to restore the sight to the blind. Daily, this looks pretty simple for me. I have spiritual mentors that I look to and respect, and that speak into my life and give me truth and grace. These are people that I pursue and I actively call and ask to meet up with, and I've been doing that for a couple of years, and it's been really powerful for me, for my own heart, and for also learning how to minister to other people. This also looks like reading. I'm a pretty avid reader, and I do that in the car a lot while I'm driving. Audiobooks, not reading. And it looks like me being still, having moments of quiet in my life, and feeling guided in my daily interaction by the Holy Spirit. I think that there's patterns in my life that Lindsay, my wife, and I have set up, of community groups, having people over for dinners before community group, which saves, kind of keeps the night a missional night, but allows us to meet people individually. It looks like lunch after church, hikes, dinner with neighbors. I'm also involved in at Loma Linda, meeting up with a group of physicians who are also treating patients who are mentally ill. And we meet together and process and find ways of spiritually integrating our faith with what we do. This also looks like going into the hospital with medical students and teaching them how to pray with patients, which is something I really enjoy. One of the things I love about Emmaus is the community groups. And I've felt very, very passionate that this is a way of communicating God's grace to to anyone. And when I was a medical student, I didn't have this. I didn't have a group of people to come to once a week. And I was on mission. I was going into the juvenile hall and preaching and meeting up with the guys there, but I didn't have that family. And so I had a very lonely period of my life until when I was in Ohio in my intern year. I found a church that had community groups, and it really shaped who I was and brought me out of a place of isolation into mission with other people. And so I'm really excited about this next phase in my life of looking what it looks like to have mission with people in my community group. I think that there's so many opportunities to share the love and grace of God with people. And we just need to be open and listen and be ready